Well, greetings, Canada. This is Craig reporting for Canada's smartest IT in one of Canada's and the world's most beautiful cities, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Today I have the privilege of talking to Don from Raven Bay Services and to Martin from Pacific Northern Gas. Here is that interview. I have the pleasure of being with Martin from Pacific Northern Gas and Don from Raven Bay Services. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Doing great, thanks.
So, Don, how long have you been with Raven Bay Services?
5 years now.
And what's that experience been like?
Oh, it's been great. It's been a great ride.
What's the one thing about Raven Bay Services that you would want everyone to know?
I think that we really care about the stuff that we do, the implementations we provide, and the service we give to our clients.
And speaking of clients,
Martin Saunders from Pacific Northern Gas.
what's the one thing about Pacific Northern Gas that you'd like everyone to know?
Great company to work for. Yeah, good people.
One of the cool things about sort of going across the country and really chronicling, the Canada's smartest IT stories is how excited people are getting about, their IT department. And I think it's great that we can actually celebrate that and really show how creative people in IT are. Is that something that you've been witness to?
I like to think that we are. I think that we find creative ways to solve problems. And,
right.
As we were talking before, it's about the people and the technology. The technology's there, but the only way it works is if you have the people behind it to support it, implement it, keep it running.
Yeah, we've had some really good experiences, not only with vendors like Don's with the Raven Bay, but with IBM as well on the hardware side. So dealing with that level of professionalism,
right.
Coming from not just IT but other departments as well. Get to meet a lot of different people from different facets during the implementation and during the process. Everyone was so professional. It really boiled down to monthly costs. We had some exorbitant costs per month on our backup solution. So coming down to it, we were like, okay, how about just an upfront capital cost and just cut out these monthly bills
Absolutely.
From our operating, and it worked out great.
What's the wow?
In connection with IBM, I met with Raven Bay and their team.
Right.
And I was just sort of bowled over. I was like, these guys are really, really into what they are not just selling, but what they actually believe in the product itself.
Right.
So it really made us sort of look at the competition and say, well, what am I being sold here? Am I being sold something? Is the sell more important than the actual product? And the feeling I got from this collaboration was that it was never about the sell, it was just about the product and what it could do for us.
Let's talk about roadblocks. You've been with Raven Bay, with Pacific Northern Gas for 3 years now.
Right.
There must have been at least one or two roadblocks that came up that, were difficult to solve.
There are challenges for us, specifically with bandwidth-related issues.
Right.
On the remote side, we do everything from Vancouver. Our branch offices go right across the province. So if you're dealing with a small office in Burns Lake or a small office in Vanderhoof, and these offices are small, but they're important.
Right.
They have 2, 3, 4 people in these offices, but they rely on our network in order to get and receive data. So to make the company tick, it's really, really quite simple. If they grew to 20 or 40, it wouldn't matter. They're still as important as they are right now. So that's a big challenge for us, is to make sure that these offices are connected, that they share the same kind of data, that the backups occur across the same sort of link, that everything's running as efficiently as possible, not just in the urban centers, but also in these smaller branch offices.
Absolutely.
Which keeps things ticking, right? So we're pretty happy.
Time is money, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So knowing that we have a solution that caters to that group specifically, and also to our needs here in the corporate side, it's pretty important. I hate to see unnecessary server sprawl. I hate to see unnecessary services, and I don't like to see these things move away in such a way that I lose control.
Right.
I don't want to sound like a control freak, because I'm not, but not in the least. But
right.
I love to lose control.
Yeah.
But in a work environment like IT, I think it's just paramount that you and the team that you work with know that the efficiency is probably the cornerstone of a great IT.
What is virtualization meant for you?
Consolidation in the data center.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a big data center, but server sprawl can get ridiculous in a small environment. You want more with less,
Yeah.
And I think that's what virtualization allows us to do, is to allow for us to increase our services without increasing our footprint from a hardware perspective. And when you're in a small environment, that's huge.
How do you measure success?
By the least number of phone calls that come across my desk.
Year 1 of year 3.
Yeah.
How many phone calls were you getting then versus how many phone calls are you getting now?
Right. I would say right now I'm down 50%. That means things are running just fine.
Absolutely.
So being able to have that environment for myself allows me to be more proactive, which again works for me again because it cuts down on the future phone calls.
In the 3 years, what has really changed in your mind as far as technology?
For 10 years.
Yeah.
The biggest thing has been hardware platform's ability to cope with the software. And people not just drumming their fingers as they're waiting for a machine to boot up, or waiting for their software to load, or waiting for something to come across the network.
What advice would you give to that IT guy in Canada? Don?
I'd say leverage technology. We're finally there. You see the amount of iPhones out there and the data that's being delivered. It's there now. People are starting to use it, using information and technology. So it's possible now, whereas before it was a little bit harder. You can use it to your advantage for sure, getting information fast.
Absolutely. Martin?
I would say empathy for the end user, I think is a big one, because if you can empathize with the people who are actually using a particular product, no matter what the product is, you can design a solution for them that helps them, or at least makes them feel like they're a part of the process.
Right.
Because if you just start throwing out solutions to people, it's going to be leading a horse to water most times.
Absolutely.
I think if you involve people with processes and things of that nature, I think you have a clear highway to success in that company.
Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Craig.
Cheers.